everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today what we're gonna do is be cooking some steak fajitas, just regular steak fajita. But to start off, we're gonna marinate the steak, and I just got the steak at Publix already cut up, so it takes away half of the work. So we have the strips here. I'm gonna marinate it with some lime and some garlic and salt and pepper, and I'll show you how to do that now. I don't know about you guys, but I like to wash my meat before I start cooking it. You never know what's on it, especially with the blades that are going through. It's going through it at the butcher, at Publix or Kroger, or even at the butcher market, wherever you get your meat. I always recommend washing it, and if you're gonna sear it, dry it beforehand to get a better sear. Or if you're gonna use a marinade like I am, you can just go ahead and sear it straight out of the marinade. So I'm going to go ahead and wash it just with water. Make sure you wash your hands. Obviously we're using meat, so let's wash our hands. Okay, so we're going to use lime, and first we're going to get the juices flowing in the lime. So just roll it, pushing hard on your cutting board, roll it away from you, and then I'll just get the juices flowing. You'll feel that the firmness goes down and it's a little less firm, more soft, and just cut it in half. And then take your juicer and squeeze it over the meat. And the acid will act as a tenderizer and make the meat super juicy and tender in your fajita. And I'm going to do a lime and a half because I like it. Super yummy, limey, garlicky deliciousness. So there's that. And I'm going to use coarse sea salt. Okay, that should be good. It's about a tablespoon. And I'll mince the garlic. Actually, I'm gonna use my pumice stone, and I'm gonna pumice the garlic and put it in there. I'm gonna use 4 cloves of garlic. I'm just gonna cut these little ends off. These were cut, so they have a little sprout on them because they were cut and I haven't used them. So I'm just gonna clean them up a little bit. I think I'm gonna cut them in half also. Put them in my stone. I'm just gonna use 4. Did I say that already? Oh, well. Alright, and I got them in my stone. I'm just gonna beat them until they are basically a paste. I'm going to use a little bit of salt in here to help with the friction, so that way it can help me squish them. There we go. That's good. A little easier. How it looks. Now I'm just gonna scrape that over into the bowl of meat. Smells so garlicky. The oils come out of the garlic. The deliciousness. I could lick this stone right now. That's how much I love garlic. Okay. Now, let me wash my hands. Now I want to use a little bit of cracked black pepper in this mixture also. Okay, I'm going to turn my cast iron skillet on medium heat, so let it warm up. I washed my peppers, and I'm going to go ahead and cut those up. And I'm going to also cut up the onion. So while the cast iron skillet is warm up, I'm going to go ahead and cut these peppers up. I like to put the peppers in first because they take a little longer to get soft than the onion. So, and the way that I cut my peppers is just like this. I cut around in a square around the stem, so that way I get the seeds. I don't cut the seeds and have to clean the pepper afterwards because I've already cleaned the pepper and the inside should be clean. So that way I get all the seeds, and I might have to shake off like one seed and that's it. And if you have any bad parts of your pepper, you can just cut it off. And that's it. And I want to cut these in strips about almost the thickness of my finger, or your finger, whichever you choose. So there's that. And around the stem, all the seeds. Do an orange one. That should be good. Yeah. There we go. Alright, I threw the peppers in the cast iron skillet with a little bit of oil, and they're just sauteing away. I'm going to turn the heat down to low because it's already hot, because cast iron holds a lot of the heat when it's already warmed up. So you want to get them a little roasted, and I'm going to cut up some onions and throw that in with the skillet. Cut up some onion. I already have half of an onion that I peeled and used half of it the other day. So I'm going to cut this one up and use half of it as well. Alright, so we're going to cut the onion up. Get that together. Easier to cut it when it's together, when it's a whole onion. There we go. I'm going to cut it into slices a little bit thinner than I cut the peppers, because it'll cook pretty fast. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it in to this skillet with the peppers. And we'll cut this one. I always cut the root in first because then the gases will come out. And then push it, keep it away, point it away from me. Then I cut it in half. There are so many different ways. I know Ramsay does some special trick where he leave it on there, but I'm not a professional chef, and I'm going to cut it the way I know how to cut it. The way I've been cutting it for years and been getting stuff done. Take the peel off. It don't make me cry. And then I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to reuse my onion bag. Put it in there. Okay, and I'm gonna chop it up. You don't want to chop your fingers off. There we go. And then throw it in there. Alright, so the onions and the peppers are cooking away. They're doing exactly what I want them to do. Getting char marks. I don't know if you see little char marks. I love those little char marks because it means good food, delicious food. Alright, so my peppers and onions have cooked down a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and add my meat. And I'm just going to dump it all in with the juice and the garlic and everything. And we can add more spice if we want. Okay. I'm going to let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. Alright, so that is it. I added a little bit of taco seasoning to add a little bit of spice, and that is all she wrote for the fajita mixture. I'm going to let it simmer just a little bit more, and then we can eat it with the rice when the rice is done. Alright, so here's a little trick that I learned from Alton Brown. When you're cutting onions and you want to get make sure you don't have the stinky smell after you've cut the onion or garlic, when you're washing your hands, I'm going to move the camera over a little bit. When you're washing your hand with soap, regular soap, you can rub your hands on the stainless steel of the sink, or I always use this to neutralize the odor of the onion. It's like a chemical reaction that helps neutralize the smell, and my hands never stink of the onion anymore. Okay, as a side dish, I'm gonna make some brown rice, and I'm gonna show you what I do with my brown rice. First of all, I wash my rice. So I'm gonna show you that, and I'm gonna use this little strainer. I'm gonna use this strainer, and I'm just going to pour the rice into the strainer, just like that. And wash the rice, swish it around with my fingers and rub it around to get the starch off of it. You should start to smell the brown rice. And when the water runs clear with no like a film, like a white film, then you can stop. And we're good. And I'm using cold water. Okay, so this is the pan I'm going to use for the rice, and I'm going to turn the eye on high. I'm going to do high, and I'm going to use these little olive oil garlic things that I made. So it's got garlic in the olive oil, so I'm using 2 of those in there, and I can show you how I made those. They're little duckies. So cute. Die, ducky, die. Okay, so I'm gonna let those cook down, and then I'm gonna put the rice in there and then kind of brown it off and get the extra water. Alright, the little garlic duckies are melting. I'm going to add just a little bit more olive oil on top of what they already had in them. Just a tiny bit more. There we go. And then I'm going to add in the rice. Okay. And we're going to let it cook off the extra juices. And it's going to get kind of a nutty flavor because I'm cooking it. So I'm going to reduce the heat down a little bit because it's a little hot. So it's on medium heat now. keep stirring it until all the water is gone. And then I'm going to add 2 cups of water. So 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water. Alright, so I have a nutty smell going on in here with the rice, and Miss Elsa and Anna measured 2 cups of water out for me, and I'm going to pour that in. And I'm going to let it start to boil, and then I will cover it and then reduce it to simmer. So first we're going to let it boil. I'm going to also add salt. Never forget to add salt. Alright, the rice has come to a boil. I'm going to let it come be a more vigorous boil. I'm going to turn up the heat first, and it will become a more vigorous boil. And then I'm going to add the lid and reduce it to, it says melt, but I'm going to go between 2 and melt, which is technically supposed to be like 1. So it's going to be like half, 1.5. So I think that's a vigorous enough boil, so I'm going to go ahead and reduce it down to there and cover it. Well, we're going to do one more little stir. There we go. And we are going to close it off and let it sit for like 45 minutes. I know brown rice takes a really long time, so it's going to be 45 minutes before we can eat this deliciousness with the rice.